years on radio. First home studio I had to leave because they were putting windows in. I knew I'd have to leave it. So the studio I plan on going to, which is nearby in another house that I own, I start to go to it. They're trimming trees under my window from the neighbor's property. That was a blowout. So I said, okay, let's go to the other studio 2 miles away in another town. Can't go there. P&G's jackhammering the street, changing the telephone lines. They said, you're kidding me. So then my assistant says, okay, quick, let's run to the city. You have an apartment with a studio that you build. The wires are hot all the time. Cost me a fortune. I get to the apartment. I get there 10 a.m. The show starts at noon. Everything's fine. We test it. It's running beautiful. Fax is running. I go down. I go across to the, wherever it is, by the ferry terminal. I bypass the people defecating in the street, the wastrels on skateboards by the Embarcadero, the bums who should be in reform school, the potheads, the lunatics, the drug addicts. And with the normal people, I go in there and I go to the bakery, Acme, and I buy a loaf, an onion loaf. I try to give them a tip. They can't accept it. I don't know what that's about. I come from a place where you tip. I'm sorry, we can't accept it. That's a very California thing. They look like they're like brainwashed from a cult. I'm sorry, sir, we can't accept a tip, like I insulted them. All right, whatever. So I don't give them a tip. I go back to the apartment. It's now 11:20. The show starts at noon, right? As God is my witness, a jackhammer starts through the wall. I call the apartment management. I said, what is going on? They said, a pipe broke in a neighbor's apartment. They're drilling. I said, you're kidding me. So my heart's pounding. The show is in 35 minutes. So I call and email the program director at KSFO. And the guy is managing 8 stations. We reach him. He says, come on over. They move Mike out of the studio, which they share for the, I don't know what, production. We get in there within 10 minutes to go, and I do the show. Now, I want to ask you something. Would a normal man have done that? No. Would someone who had not been trained to survive no matter what's thrown at you put up with that? Another guy at my age, even half my age, would have said, you know what, today's not the day for radio. Let someone fill in, let him do a best of. I'm not going to kill myself, right or wrong? Anyone else would have said, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I did it. Why did I do it? Why did I continue to go? Why did I want to be on the air? Because my father taught me that you'll have adversity every step of the way in your life. No matter what field of endeavor you are in, there will always be impediments in your way. You're always going to have to overcome them. It's drilled into me. It's called a work ethic, something that these brats on the college campuses never learned. The work ethic. It's called, if you want to laugh at it, the Protestant work ethic. You don't hear it anymore, do you? That's also illegal now, the Protestant work ethic, instead of the un-Protestant hate ethic? Where are we? I blew through one stop set. There's only 8 minutes left in the whole hour, and I got to take a break in a half hour? Frightening. Where does my energy come from? It's otherworldly. All from a veal parmesan and a chicken leg? I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
Your Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust for tangible assets, gold and silver. Call 800-BUI-COIN. Uncanny that I'm still on the radio after all these years. And wonderful at the same time. Somebody up there likes me, I hope. But here we are in the Savage Nation talking about all the things, all the issues of the day. It's called News Talk. When you think about it, what is radio? The field I am in is called News Talk, is what it really is. And we're talking about the news. We're talking about the clueless haters on campuses, the losers who shouldn't have been there to begin with, who are screaming about microaggression and this and that. They can't cut it. We used to say can't cut the mustard. It's that simple. When you think everyone could get into Annapolis in my day or West Point, they were elite schools. Now take a look at what's in Annapolis and West Point today. Go take a look at what they're putting in there. I don't even want to go there. It's unbelievable. How can anyone still fly a plane? I don't know. And land it on an aircraft carrier with the idiots running the Navy. Take a look at it. Used to be the best. Absolutely the best. Look at what they're putting in now. They know they can't fly the plane and land it on a carrier, so they make them in charge of the whole fleet. Where they don't have to do anything. So what do you want to talk about? John, KSFO, fire away. You got a minute or less. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Michael, hey, I've heard you talking about Michelle Obama and mentioning fascism, using that word kind of in the wrong way, in the sense that we've had fascism for the last several years through things like...
Okay, I know. When I already heard the word kind of coming from your mouth, I know what I'm getting next. I know, kind of. Typical college boy. Well, why is she lecturing about women's rights in India like she comes from an oppressed background? You think she's an oppressed person, John?
No, that's not my point at all. You could do with her.
Oh, please. All right, pardon me. What is your point?
Well, you used fascism the wrong way, and that's not what's going on in this insanity that's happening in the campuses. I agree with you. It's insanity, and these people are sniveling about all kinds of things. But fascism has been when AT&T is co-opted by the NSA to usurp our constitutional rights.
Oh, well, you mean something that your boss Obama has ordered, correct?
Yes, exactly. He is.
Well, so we agree on something.
But that's not how you use the term. But anyway, really what I wanted to talk about is
all right, you just want to be picayune great, so you're a genius. What else? What else do we disagree on?
This concept that's used by these fake labels like left, right, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal.
All right, we know. I've talked about it for 20 years. Anything else is new. Have you read Government Zero? I'm sending you a copy, John. If you dare read it, get back to me after you've devoured it, because it's the most intellectually satisfying read of our generation. And you'll understand what I mean by Government Zero when you read it. And you'll understand that there is liberal fascism emanating from Michel and whatever his name is.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE. Savage.
Masculinity about it. Others don't. So I am suffering an illness. I've never disclosed it till today. It just popped out of me. I do have PRSD, which is post-radio stress disorder, which I suffer every night after the show. Ask my family if I'm making it up. And it comes out in different ways in different people. In my case, I overeat. I feel so good right now, I don't even understand why. I mean, I did something new today. Just before the show, I drank a gigantic cup of coffee, which I've done before, but this time I ate chocolate. Chocolate without sugar in it. I got the dark chocolate without sugar. Unbelievable. I know why the Aztecs drank it in a cup. That's one contribution to world civilization we have to thank them for, which is the chocolate fetish. They had it. You know that the Aztecs drank chocolate in cups? They didn't make it into a bar. They drank it. Pretty good idea. What stuff that is. I'll have a collapse later. A hypoglycemia. About 2 hours after the show, I wish I were dead. That's the problem. I mean, sugar, and caffeine you can use to get up there into the stratosphere. But then it's a drop down. What it does to your blood sugar, forget about it. I don't have diabetes. I have no known illness yet. None. Well, I can't exactly say that, but so far, so good. Cholesterol upside down, a nightmare. My blood lipids, if you saw them, you'd have me in the hospital the next minute. But because it shows you cholesterol readings mean next to nothing. It's an invention of the drug industry. All right, let's go to the callers. Ed on WMAL. What's on the plate for today, Ed?
Hey, how's it going, Michael?
Okay, fire away.
Yeah, listen, man, my father, I grew up in a tough neighborhood, and my dad, he told me when I was growing up, son, you got to get out there and you got to work. The world doesn't owe you anything. He said you get out there and you work hard and you earn your living and you chase that American dream. If you want more than what you got, go to college and get it.
All right, so where are you today? What's the point of the call?
No, the point of the call is that what's going on with the colleges and what's going on with the government, I've never seen anything like it. It makes me sick.
All right, have a nice day. Thank you very much. No one's seen it, but what's the point of just complaining then? My mind isn't even on this anymore. My mind is already on Thanksgiving and who I'm inviting to dinner. That's all I can think about. It's a funny thing. Every time this year comes around now, all I think about is, because I love Thanksgiving, it's my favorite holiday. It almost sounds like it's a plug for something like nuts.com or something. That's not what it is. It's 2 weeks from tonight. I have to start planning already the dinner. So the family been negotiating. One already can't come because this is a reason. So that's out. That's number one. The other one I don't talk to. So that's two. The other side of the family I haven't talked to in a year. That's number two. This is becoming like a stereotype. The other side of the family, which I love, we can get together and maybe. So I'm going to my favorite restaurant, which I won't mention. I booked a table A to have 4 people so far. So I have to look down on my list and see who am I going to invite. I'm going down the list. I don't talk to any of them anymore. I look at the other people. MK, I'm not going to invite him. He's a crank. T&M, not inviting them. I don't like him. MW and no. The other one, they just came out of obligation, not inviting them. This one I'm not inviting because he used to work for the other syndicator. He was a crook. Not inviting him. LNYS not inviting them because the last I went to the house, when they came to my house for dinner, they brought a bottle of beer. I swear to God. I invited them to a dinner years ago. They brought me a bottle of Superior beer as a gift. Not a wine. Not even a cheap $2 chuck. The guy brought a bottle of beer. He's out of the list. Next one, no, he's no longer my lawyer. Next one, no, he's a crank. Then I have a list of alternates I can't even invite. You know, you'll have alternates. There's no one even on the alternate list I would have there. So that's it. I wound up eating alone. Remember that movie years ago? It was set in Baltimore. One of the best directors around. Who knows? It was something with Baltimore, a Jewish family that starts out in the beginning like an immigrant family. They're all together. 100 people in a room spread out at children's table, all arguing and happy, and with the turkeys. Remember that? And then it ends with the progenitor of the family alone in a dark room by himself with a TV tray watching a little screen, eating alone because everyone's had a fight and no one will come over anymore. Either they're dead or they don't talk to each other. Who knows the movie I'm talking about? Raise your hand if you do. I'll give you a free copy of A Government Zero. I used to know it. Barry Levinson did the movie. That's number one, so you could easily figure out the title of it. Maybe someone in my studio could jump to that one and give me the title so I don't have to give away another book. He lived in the area, Barry Levinson. That was one of his better movies. He hasn't done anything in years, but everyone still thinks he's a famous director. It's funny how people live on their laurels. I read, by the way, speaking of actors, that Robert De Niro is thinking of moving to Russia. I don't know if it's a rumor. They said, are you going to accept? Because he's over in Russia pushing a movie, and he was at the Moscow Film Festival years ago. You're considering doing what Depardieu did. He's not going to do it. So far as I know, there's no Little Italy in Moscow. I don't think so. I don't think there's a Little Italy in Moscow, by the way. I've thought of it. If this keeps up, imagine how crazy the world has become. The left is so fanatical. We're becoming so much like the ex-Soviet Union. I'm thinking about which country to move to if it gets worse. So I'm saying, well, maybe I have to go to Russia. It seems to be the best country left on the planet, run by a decent leader. And I said, nah, you can't do that. I'm going to go back to the country my father fled, that my grandfather fled. I'm going to go to Russia. First of all, Russian's a hard language. Imagine being an immigrant to a nation at my age, not speaking a language, how hard that is. Then that is something for you to think about. When you talk to an immigrant who doesn't speak English, well, you think they're stupid, don't you? But they know more words in your language. This is another thing my father taught me. I'll never forget this as long as I live. It's a funny story how even-minded he was. We had a lot of Spanish speakers come into his store. They were Puerto Ricans. So many of them could not speak English very well. So I would, as a kid, laugh at them. And my father would look at me very grimly and he says, you know what? Don't laugh at them so fast. They speak more English than you speak Spanish. I didn't know a word of Spanish. I turned red and I never ridiculed anyone who spoke English poorly after that. Do you know that? It just shows you what you can learn if you come from the real world. That's all. Next case. Let's move on. You still want to talk about affirmative action? Why, you haven't seen enough of the results of it? Take a look at the White House. You'll find out what it's wrought in this country. That's my opinion. Here's Michelle Obama, who got ahead not because she invented the cure to polio, and here she is in India lecturing the world about how bad women are treated in America. Why doesn't she do something like go to Islamic nations and talk about the oppression of women? Why doesn't she talk about the honor killing, so-called, amongst Muslims here in America, killing daughters who date someone but a Muslim? Why doesn't she talk about the mutilation of young girls by Muslims who are being brought in here from Africa? How they mutilate their young girls. That's oppression, my friend. Now, you want to talk about microaggression? Cutting off a girl's private parts is not microaggression, Michelle. Is that a little too aggressive for you? In this new age of everyone has to be silent and politically caponized instead of euthanized? Politically correct means you've been intellectually euthanized. That's what it means. If you're worried about what you're going to say with every word you say, you've been euthanized already, mentally euthanized. Write it down. Someone else said it'd be on 18 websites the next second. I have no support in the media. I used to. I have WorldNet Daily. Once in a while, they throw me a bone on the Drudge Report. About once a year, I get it mentioned. But what's the difference? I like them all. What do you want me to talk about? The election? I am so bored of it already. And the debate, I couldn't even find it. Fox buried a Fox Business Channel. I had to go to the internet and say, where is the Republican debate tonight? It was somewhere on channel 9,215. And it wasn't that good. I talked about it the other day. It's enough already. Can't they